The following is not meant to be biased towards UCA or BCA, simply it sits in the middle from a third perspective telling the facts from interviews with top-ranking officials on both sides and from announcements and from first-hand accounts of people involved. This video is not meant to convince you of anything, simply to tell you the facts. The situation at hand is a very complex one with a lot of different parties in play. However, if you do not know what UCA is, it is the biggest clan community in Bed Wars, and even now is still the biggest. It has hundreds of clans involved and runs clan wars pretty much every single day. However, in recent times there has been some unrest in UCA and a large amount of clans leaving. Bridgie will explain it pretty well now.
In recent times, the UCA's had a bit of a scuffle. And basically what's happened is a bunch of clans have gotten together and they've talked about the UCA and they've thought, we can do better, and the BCA exists now.
BCA that has formed from the clans leaving, the relationship between UCA and BCA, and the situation that led up to this will be the topic of today. Let's get into it. 2:39 a.m. February 20th, 2022. A new server is made. This one would later become BCA, and the first screenshotted message in there is from Slapify, and as you can see in it, there was some resent towards UCA. This is what he had to say about the creation.
Senkan was gonna leave UCA, and basically then I heard about it and I was like, okay, right, I think I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna leave. So then I made my own, and then I got added to a group chat with a couple other people, and we all discussed it and we all joined it, and then we just started this instead. So UCA is just like not really a thing anymore.
So after I heard that the BCA founding had basically started with the Sen clan leaving UCA, I decided to investigate a little further, and this is what I found.
So what occurred was a bad match had happened between RA and Sen, and Sen had their own views on the UCA and about the blackmailing allegations. And and this was the beginning of that.
The next person I talked to was an anonymous RA member. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight and wishes to keep anonymous. Here's what he had to say. Fixities was being biased to BTK and GM. We beat BTK 3-1, and he nearly made BTK number 3. When we won, he changed up the rules so BTK could win. Since they cheated in the last round, rematched and won. BTK scroll clicked, and that's a rule to not scroll click or auto. So Fixity said scroll allowed after the rematch and after we won. He said scroll allowed, which is changing the rules so that BTK could win. Pretty unfair. I asked people from both BCA and UCA about these allegations of Fixities being biased. I even talked to Fixities himself, and he had a pretty good explanation for his behavior. So this is what those people had to say.
The Fixities always pick side, like biased towards clan, but that's not really true.
Fixity's responses were sometimes a little bit jaded, so they would come across as very insulting and very forward and direct, and some people weren't used to that sort of behaviour. DM'd with Fixity plenty of times, and yeah, he's a bit rough around the edges, but I think he's trying to work on that, and that's all you can do, really.
Obviously people now aren't being very nice to Fixities. They're sending him a lot of hate, so we're trying to stop that, but you know, we're trying to do whatever we can to keep this community going.
This next part is what Fixities, the former owner of UCA himself, said. Alright, I suffer from an illness called intermittent explosive disorder, and I have a medical certificate for it. And the reason I acted was because of my internalized hate and stress I built up over the months. Because of my in real life anguish and pain, I lost so many loved ones. I just vented on people closest to me, thinking they'll forgive me, and I ended up hurting people in the process. That's how my sickness works. I'm currently undergoing self-treatment plus real therapy, and I feel better now. I'll let time be a sponge, slowly absorbing the hate. I'd rather make friends than foes. I won't hate on anyone, or it will be a never-ending cycle. And then he added to that saying, "And yes, I made up with everyone except Jimmy. He still doesn't like me a lot. It's fine. Hate can't last forever. It's a weight hanging on your chest. The more weight, the more painful it gets." Now, it really does seem like Fixedies is trying to better himself, and that's really a big reason why I'm making this video, is do not hate on any person involved in this, guys. They have made up with each other, except, you know, 1 or 2 people, but still, they have made up with each other. What's happened, it's in the past now, and now people are starting to move into the future. Moving on with that expert transition there, here's what people think is going to happen with the future of UCA and BCA.
So UCA is kind of like dead right now, but I'm hoping like there's some new server updates that'll keep UCA active, I guess.
And this will be the new big clan alliance, and it's going to be completely fair. There's no bias at all. All the small clans will be given the same chance as a big clan will.